Hi, welcome to Talking About. I'm John Griffith.
I'm Cara Kilduff. Welcome.
And it is Pride season.
Wait, welcome back.
Thank you. My nephew graduated college last month, so I was in Maryland for that. And this weekend they're actually having the party, so I'll be back down in the Maryland area this weekend for.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, and my older nephew graduated in December. He was on the 4.5-year plan.
It's okay.
And so they're doing a big multi-person grad party, so it should be nice. So hopefully the weather will hold out, and all the liquid that's been falling from the sky all over the East Coast will not happen.
It's better than out west. My best friend was telling me that, there was, I don't know if it's still going on, but a heat wave in LA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was over 100 degrees. She took a screenshot of her dashboard, and it was like 104 or something like that, I think.
Oh, wow. And they just pretty much recovered from the drought.
Yeah.
So hopefully they won't go back into one.
No, I don't think so. I hope not. But
hopefully.
It is Pride season.
It is. Have you hit any of the festivities or?
No, not yet. I've just been working and having my head stuck in the sand, so.
Okay, well, that's a good thing.
No, it's got to come back out.
Okay. Get out there. Well, since it's Stonewall 50 in a couple of weeks, that's a big deal.
A very big deal. And the city is going to be flooded with queerdos. Weird queerdos. Yeah.
Which is a good thing. I mean, that happens every year, but this is going to be amped up.
Yeah, well, it's also World Pride, so there's going to be even more people around. And I think, was it you telling me, or maybe it was Tom Ragu told me that the parade is going to be, it was my therapist told me that the parade is going to be like even longer because they were going to march, and the slot they were given was like 10 p.m. or something like that.
Oh, no.
I don't know if that's... that sounds.
I mean, the parade has gone very long in the past. I mean, it's usually like a 5-hour parade, and we appreciate everybody who is watching on Facebook Live. We're not going to call everybody out, but we do know that you're there, and we appreciate it. There's a phone number on Facebook, and there's going to be one on the screen. If you want to call in and say hi, we welcome it.
Yeah.
So, but for those, I mean, most of our audience kind of knows exactly what Stonewall was, but 50 years ago, police raided a bar for the umpteenth time, and it just pushed the people who were there over the edge. I mean, I'm oversimplifying it, but that's the gist of it, and it's one of the things that really sparked the gay rights movement. There was
something on Huffington Post. I don't remember the specifics, but somebody had created a program, and it's interactive, I think. And there's the voices of the people that were actually involved. Like one was one of the cops that was there. One was there were a couple of people who were there, and it's crazy to hear. Hear that history of our community. You know, there are still people around that were there.
Right.
And
in the middle, we lost an entire generation, but that's a topic for another show. But it can't be ignored. So, we really value the people who were there that are still with us, and hopefully we'll continue to have them tell their story and share the history.
And that's funny because you saw that thing about a bunch of bigots want a straight pride parade in Boston. Like, why do you have to have gay pride? Well, because that's what it was like before. You couldn't be yourself. It was illegal, and you'd get arrested.
Up until I think either the late 60s or early 70s, it was illegal to serve a known homosexual alcohol in New York. So, we have a caller. Hello.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to mention that the riot was also the night that Judy Garland died. Her funeral.
Yes.
Yes, that is reported to be a factor. There are people who dispute that as a spark, but it can be why emotions were high because she is an icon to the community. So thank you for that, for bringing that to the attention. It was probably a factor in some way, but there are people on both sides of the argument who say, yes, it was, not as much as you might think, but yes, it was.
Well, just like when I was looking at this article, I mean, just the thought, because, if you stop to think, well, I have to speak for myself. When I stop to think about it, this article helped me imagine that the streets were flooded and this was before the internet, before cell phones, before you could tell your friends, hey, meet me here. The streets around the Stonewall were flooded with angry people.
For 3 or 4 nights in a row.
Yeah, and I have goosebumps, like, just talking about it now. Like, can you imagine that? Like, oh.
I was talking to somebody earlier,
amazing.
and he brought up a point. It's like, you don't realize that you're in history, you're living history in the moment. It's only in retrospect that you realize what an important moment that you had taken part in, and that is a key moment in the history of the community. A lot of people think it was the first, but there were some incidents on the West Coast as well that shouldn't be ignored. I don't have notes about them in front of me, but early days there was a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of people finally had enough and stood up for what they believed in, and it sparked a movement, and this is where we are today.
The homosexual agenda.
Yes. Yeah, we've gained a lot, but there's still a lot of people trying to take away.
I think it all ties in well with other oppressed groups in our country that aren't heard all the time, and now, you know, with it seems like there's a crackdown on the. You saw the article about that. What was her name? The trans woman that died in Rikers in solitary confinement, Polanco.
Yeah, the name eludes me, but yes.
You know, the trans community is being targeted in ways, and I also saw some people from our own community saying, you know, not accepting trans people in our community, and
yes.
blah blah blah. Brad Loakley, who is a comedian that
he was on the show a few years ago.
I adore him. Brad, if you see this, I have to say I love you for what you say, because he just tore this whole argument apart, and he's always like one of the first people to stand up and say this is wrong. But I can't even imagine. I was reading some of these comments that this person, these transphobic comments that this person wrote, and this was
within the community. This
is a gay person, a gay man saying all these things, and it was just like, stop and think, dude. People aren't accepting you. Just, I mean. I guess it's that thing too, where like if you're afraid of something, or like say you live in the suburbs and you're not around a lot of brown people, and you're like, oh, I'm so, you know, whatever. Until you know somebody of whatever, your mind isn't going to change.
Right.
But it's like, I have plenty of friends that are trans now, and I don't really think about it.
Right.
I've been doing so much better with pronouns.
Well, if you know somebody before, during, and after transition,
yeah,
it is a period of adjustment that everybody in that friendship circle needs to allow for that adjustment.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you need to transition that yourself. And if a pronoun slip is not the be-all end-all of the world, as long as it's not deliberate to be hurtful.
No.
And I could go on about my thoughts about this, but as a cis person, it's not really my place to go on. But as long as we love and accept each other and move beyond our own faults and try to become better people ourselves, yeah, things will change. Because for the longest time, are you familiar with, she's an entertainer throughout the city, and I've met her a couple of times, but I'm Facebook friends with her as well, Barbara Herr. Yeah, she's very much the advocate, and she sees the hate coming from within and without the community, and she posts about it. And yeah, she's very intelligent on her soapbox, and I respect her a lot. But yeah, she's really in tune with the fact that the trans community were our support and backbone for a long time, with the understanding that their turn would come, and when we got the rights that we've gotten, it was implicit that we would turn around and support them as well, and that support is not happening as it should. So support your trans brothers and sisters, because
absolutely,
they've supported us for years and years.
Absolutely. I have a lot of feelings about about all this. I mean, I could be crass and just say, can't we all just get along? But I mean, come on, like marginalized peoples unite.
Well, actually, I'd say we should probably set the stage for another show about it at some point, and
I think so.
just use the big studio, have a roundtable discussion, devote the whole hour to it, and it's like you and I can moderate it, but I think the trans community and the members of the trans community that we know and those who want to come on the show should speak for themselves, because it's like, I guess about 5 or 6 years ago.
Well, you know, trans people are not invisible.
Right, and the T in LGBT is not silent.
No.
A lot of people wish it would be, but it is not, and it should not be. So we need to stand up for one another.
Absolutely.
But it's a crazy world. But there's so much to celebrate going on this month, especially around the city. Queen's Pride already happened.
Brooklyn Pride already happened.
Brooklyn Pride already happened. And probably starting this weekend with the week leading up to World Pride in New York. Like you said, the wacky and fun people will start to arrive.
I think it's going to be nuts. I think this year is going to be nuts. Like,
and I can't be here. I have business.
Really?
I have business elsewhere.
Well,
Yeah,
I have clients coming home that Saturday because my client said to me, well, I have to be here for Pride for my sister. Like, her sister isn't gay, but she's like a fruit fly, so.
Okay.
But like, it made me feel like kind of good that this woman who's, you know, whatever, she's kind of fancy, but there's this woman who's like, we have to get home in time for Pride. Like, I've never, in like the almost 20 years I've known this woman, heard her say anything like that.
And that's the progress that we're making, and that's a wonderful thing, and it's great to have the support of communities outside of our own. There are some people who get kind of funny with it and nitpicky, and the PC police that
can't have nothing nice.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, one thing I have noticed though is like, and I've noticed a lot of businesses jumping on the bandwagon and selling things for Pride.
Well, they're willing to exploit us just like everyone else.
Yeah.
That's the point that I raise when people bring it up online. It's like, okay, well, it's like we're getting hoarded out just like the rest of the world.
True.
The rest of the community. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, look at growing up, all the cheesy car commercials with somebody dressed as George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. And pretty soon you're going to have the used car salesman in the rainbow outfit, in the Speedo.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? In a banana hammock.
To each their own.
That was telling, Jonathan. Yeah, I think this year's going to be, I hope it's joyful, and I hope
it's without incident, and
yes.
So
Yeah, I hope so.
have fun, but have fun sensibly, or reasonably sensibly.
Yeah, it's going to be a little nuts. And I'm sure anybody that lives in the West Village is going to be gone that weekend.
Yeah, so Fire Island will probably be packed.
Fire Island might sink.
Oh, good
Those
Lord.
ferries are going to be like packed to the brim. I bet you know what? That's a good point. I bet you can't even buy a ferry ticket. I mean, I don't know. Wait, no, they don't take reservations. I'm thinking of like the bougie, like Martha's Vineyard ferries.
Oh, yeah, and P-Town and
Yeah. But those boats are going to be so full.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry Grove is going to be insane, probably.
They'll be cleaning up the glitter for the rest of the summer.
And from what I understand, glitter gets into everything.
Mm-hmm. And it's not biodegradable, so get some biodegradable glitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. The penguins are dying.
Oh, penguins.
Oh, good Lord. But and then 4th of July is right after that. It's like one weekend to the next is Pride, then 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a little bit off camera. It's like, what's his name is trying to co-opt DC, the DC 4th of July celebration, and attach his own name to it. He couldn't get his military parade, so he's trying to steal 4th of July.
You cannot steal the 4th of July, sir. You just can't.
It's America's Day. It's not 45's Day.
Ugh. Ugh. Anyway.
golfing. That's the only time that I can really tell them is like, just go golfing.
The current bill to protect that individual is what, $106 million for all of those
Yes.
golf trips?
What is it? Like $1.5 million per trip, or $1.5 to $3 million per trip?
I don't know, but that's an obscene amount of money that, I don't know, it could go towards maybe
Housing the homeless?
housing homeless people, housing
Feeding the
homeless
hungry?
veterans, taking care of veterans that come back broken with PTSD.
Put it,
you know.
pour it into the VA. Yeah.
I wish they would.
Yeah, well, but we're not in charge. We just need to have our own soapbox. And
No, you know what it is? I've been feeling dragged down lately, and I'm trying not to start my day or end my day with reading all of Twitter, and trying not to fill my head with that stuff. So I've been like reposting a lot of animal stuff.
that's fine and fun.
Yeah.
A while back, I was having some anxiety issues, and I stopped going on social media for 2 hours before bedtime, and I started sleeping again. It's just, all the crap that's out there. When we had 8 years of peace, love, and happiness, and then the bottom fell out, and my anxiety.
I think a lot of people are like that now, with things that are happening.
Good days ahead, we hope, but we have to work for them.
Yeah, we do. I hope so.
There's an election coming up in about a year and a half, and register and vote. There's a lot of people in the primary race, and just vote for your first choice in the primary and support the nominee in the general. And I think you and I might not have the same front runner in our minds, but we're going to get out there and we're going to do our civic duty. And hopefully,
You said duty.
duty.
It's a poo joke. I can't help it.
I don't know. I had jury duty a month ago also.
Sorry.
That's okay. I was dismissed after 3/4 of a day. So it's
really?
But yeah, they gathered us, and we were actually going to go into the courtroom, and they said, "Wait here for a minute. Something just happened." And then 10 minutes later, they came out and said, "You're dismissed." So I guess whatever happened, they plead out or settled or whatever it was going to be. But say Hernan, my better half, he got double jury duty back to back. He got state and federal. It's like a 1-2 punch.
Oh, man.
And they were like a week and a half apart. So usually if you have state, you can cancel out federal or vice versa by showing that you went.
Yeah.
It was too close together to send the paperwork in.
Oh, man.
So he had to show up.
Well, one of my friends got a notice for jury duty, and they're in school right now, and they're like, "Well, should I go? I don't want." And I was like, "Whoa, calm down. Let me get a word in edgewise. Like, you have to show up so that you can tell them you're in school full time,
Right.
in nursing school. I mean, pre-nurse. They're a pre-nurse." It's for my friend. Sorry. Hi, sorry. Yeah. So I don't think they got picked. Or whatever. I mean, I think they were able to say, hey, because they were freaking out a bit about, like, oh my God, I'm in school, I'm going to miss, X, Y, and Z. But yeah, and then this other girl, she's not a girl, this woman that works in a building that I work in, she's like, oh, I haven't gone. And the other security guard that works there, we looked at each other, then we looked at her, we're like, are you crazy? You have to go. Oh, I know, I just haven't gone. Like, what? Go!
One speeding ticket and your name comes up in the system and you end up paying a hefty fine probably.
Really?
If whatever city or state wants to push it that far.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
It's
that.
theoretically possible. I don't know anyone it's happened to, but it's theoretically possible because, you're summoned. You're not requested. You're not given a polite invitation. You're summoned.
I just show up because I figure,
Yeah, $12.
it's not even that.
It's your civic duty, and it's
my civic duty, and it's great people watching. And as long as you bring stuff to do, it's not that bad. They give you an hour for lunch. A whole hour. Who gets an hour for lunch these days? I want to know. Who? Anyway. Last time I had jury duty, I was pumped because I didn't know the neighborhood one time when I had to go years ago, but now I know that neighborhood, so I knew where to go. So anyway, that's that.
That's that. So post-Pride, are you going to take a little recovery vacation or a couple days at the beach or anything like that?
I really want to.
Head to Texas and shoot something?
No. My family wants me to come.
And I know that there's some truth in that because you...
You know, I just said to somebody the other day, oh, it was my sister-in-law, I think. Oh, no, it was my brother and my sister-in-law. They were driving to Austin. And I was like, are y'all going to stop at Buc-ee's? And my brother's like, no. And I was like, wait, go just stop on the way home. And I told my sister-in-law, I'm like, just touch everything in the store for me. But I said how I can't wear my place to shoot hat anymore because it's just like not, it would be frowned upon. But I mean, it's a fun activity in those confines. I don't need to like have something to, you know, stop people. But anyway, yeah, I love it down there. No, I reconnected recently with a friend from college who lives out on Long Island, so I've got to get out there.
Plenty of beaches on Long Island.
Yes, and you know, it's one of those friends that it's like no time has passed.
Mm-hmm. You're instantly back in it.
Yeah. And we talked on the phone over the weekend, and I was just dying because she says my name the same way. The Long Island accent has come in a little bit stronger because she's in it, but she's like, Cara, what's going on? I'm just like, hi, Cara. And I'm like, hey, what's up, Martin? How you doing? Yeah, so that'll be fun. I'm going to do that. I want to go see some family. What else? Got to see the folks.
Get to some theater. There's plenty of good theater going on right now.
Yeah, I'm working a lot over the summer, unfortunately, but and it'll keep me out of trouble.
Okay.
Maybe.
But you said you've been a little introverted, so maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah. No,
I go through phases like that also.
Yeah.
You just need to push through it and keep busy. At least that's my way of dealing with it.
Yeah. Well, I went home for Father's Day to see my folks, and that was a lot of fun. I helped my dad fix the toilet, and
Yay.
I was so proud of myself. Like, it was a great moment. I come downstairs, and my mom's like, what's happening now? Did you finish? And I'm like, I'm waiting for it to set because I had to like use some silicone sealant or whatever. And she was like, ow. Because she really wanted to like get on my case. Oh, did you finish the toilet? I'm like, no, it has to sit and cure, if you will. So yeah, we had a good time.
My mom is redoing her bathroom right now, and she's so happy that she got a tall toilet. My mom is tall. So.
My mother is all about those toilets too. It's so weird.
Do you like the new toilet? It's 19 inches.
Did she make you? Wait. Did she make you sit on it?
No, she did not. But
my mother, when they got my parents had they got a new toilet for the bathroom downstairs, and I remember when she got it because she's like, go try it out. I'm like, it's a toilet. No, it's higher. And I'm like, okay, but it's still just a toilet. She was like,
we got
all
the
about
bidet
it.
seat. No, we didn't.
Oh my God. Yeah, they're weird about that stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. So, her dad loves a good bidet.
I would say who doesn't, but the first time, okay, so I know somebody who has one of those crazy Japanese toilets in their house.
Okay.
So I had always heard about them, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I mean, it's heated seat. It's really nice. But then, like, okay, so right next to me were all these little buttons. I don't know what they mean, so I was like, all right, let's just try it. You guys, I was just so surprised. I was like, oh, I don't like that at all. No, thank you. I didn't expect it. I didn't know what was happening. And then there's like a blow dryer there, too, to like dry your booty. Anyway, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And there was some restaurant in the city that had one of those. My friend, one of my friends was like, hey, you're going to go try the bathroom. They got one of those Japanese toilets. I'm like, please. It's the little things, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
The little things in life.
Somebody I used to know, Tootsie, it's like she used to have a joke about that. And it was, I can't remember it, but it was a guy going into the women's bathroom, and there were 3 buttons. Just, don't press the 3rd button was the thing. And I wish I could remember.
I've
it was
heard
like
this joke,
20 years
and I
ago.
don't remember it. Yeah, it's something terrible.
Yes. We'll look it up and maybe next time.
It's terrible. What have you got planned for this summer? Anything fun?
Well, I'm going to be out of town next week because going to Puerto Rico with Hernan.
Nice.
So he and his sister still have the parents' house, and it's time to clean it up to let it go. So it's going to be going on the market soon. So if you're looking for a house in Puerto Rico, it's 3 bedrooms, nice kitchen.
Wow.
So we're getting that in order. And then it's like I have a couple of procedures to deal with in July. So nothing major, at least from what the doctor tells me. So we're going to deal with that. So we're going to be dark in July. So we'll be back in August. So, and that's kind of it. And I have to see, as long as everything goes according to plan, I should be up and about, back to running around like crazy in about 2 weeks. But I'm allowing for more time just in case.
Yeah, that's smart.
So, and then it's Hernan's birthday after that. So that's the summer, really. It's like up and down, run around and spin twice and hop on one foot and twist and shout.
Oh, one of the big things I'm looking forward to is, well, it's in September, but it still feels summery, is my best friend's getting married.
Oh.
So that's a trip to LA.
Yay.
And, oh no, I forgot. In August, I'm also going to see one of my dear friends who's another comic, and I can't wait. They used to have 3 pugs, but one of them passed away, so now there's just 2 naughty little pugs. I can't wait to see them! So yeah, I can't wait to see those guys, and yeah, it's good stuff. Things to look forward to.
Okay, yeah, definitely. And then before we realize we're going to be whining and complaining about how cold it is.
I don't mind the cold. I like it.
I mean, within reason.
I went to school in New Hampshire for 4 years, and so
I worked outside for 10 in Brooklyn. So.
Yeah, and it seems like, honestly, even that was like 20 years ago or whatever. It seems like we used to get so much snow then. As a matter of fact, this friend from college, there was this bar that we used to go to called Panucci's. It's a piece of crap dive. We were living in an off-campus house together. I remember we went to Panucci's, we were walking home. It was not a long walk, but there was so much snow, we started like pushing each other into the snow. And it was so deep that like I was trying to get up. I'm like, wait, Martin, I can't get up, because every time I tried to get up, I just kind of went back down and we wound up like laying back, just laughing. Oh God. Oh, good times. Nah, see, back in my day.
Yeah. Well, gonna wrap this segment up.